Good evening. I am here, and I'm already pre-ghosted, apparently. I never undid it last night. It is 1:02 a.m. on Tuesday, January 14th. I am late tonight. No excuses. I was sleepy. So, I'm fully owning up to the fact that I fell asleep when I should have been streaming. Me Overlord lurking this time. That's all good. Hey, Robo Bunny. And hey, Ayla. Wow, y'all came quick tonight. Help, I impulsively started Pokemon Cafe Remix for the first time in over 2 years, and I'm locked into playing it for 6 hours straight. Because welcome back, Infinite Stamina. What? Really? I never gave that game a try. See, here's the thing. I really liked Pokemon Troze on the DS, and then I loved Pokemon Battle Troze on the 3DS. But then, then they did Pokemon Shuffle, which was like a free-to-play version of it that wasn't as good. And then they made Pokemon Cafe Remix, which is like the same thing but mindless. You literally just swirl to win. I mean, it looks fun. Looks like a fun time waster, but I don't know. I feel like the Troze to Shuffle to Cafe Remix pipeline kind of destroyed any chances of Troze getting another like official game. Gormless one. Cafe Remix is definitely the best out of all of them. Actually, really, there just doesn't seem like there's much gameplay to it. Anyway, I'm here tonight. I have my. As I've been teasing for a few days, I have my hot Dr. Pepper with me, my hot DP, because I've decided it's my drink of the winter, so I'm gonna be drinking it a lot more. A little fresh lemon in it, it's delicious. Anyway, last night we finished Case 3, we started Case 4, and we got up to the first to be continued in it. All we know is that Kay is currently suffering from amnesia, so she's K minus K, and apparently a dead body's been found, identified also as K. So we now have to figure out what all this is about. It's actually really hard to get 3 stars on some levels, but really fun to figure that out. Okay, I might look into it at some point. I mean, it's free on Switch, right? Like it's free to download on Switch and phone. I don't want to download on my phone because right now I feel like if I put anything else on my phone, it's gonna explode. Because my phone just overheats constantly. It sucks. This case, sad I missed the start. You only miss the very start. You literally miss the one breakdown Kay has when she starts remembering something. That's it. The first segment of this was like 20 minutes. It was very short. And we're going to jump right back into it. I'm not going to get too distracted here because it's already an hour past my normal start time. Again, I want to be early the rest of this week because I really don't have a lot to do. I just need to make sure I'm not dead-ass tired after work. Though tomorrow night, I'm going to be doing some gaming. I'm going to be playing some Pokemon tomorrow night, Pokemon Scarlet, with my local friends. We're going to be doing some multiplayer missions to help me unlock the legendaries because I do still want to do. One last Pokemon Scarlet stream before Legend Z to A comes out, of me just getting all the rest of the legendaries. And they're going to help me unlock them by doing multiplayer missions in Blueberry Academy. So that's going to be fun. They're also going to help me fill out the last 2 slots in my Pokedex that I need. So that's going to be interesting. Only problem with playing on Switch is there's no way to transfer your save data to mobile later. That's the thing, though. I probably would never play it on mobile. I would just play it on Switch. Now, if I couldn't send it to Switch 2, that'd be a problem. But from the sound of it, it's not going to be an issue. Speaking of, Switch 2 reveal likely going to be announced either tomorrow or Wednesday, and then the video is going to happen Thursday from what people are saying now. So hopefully this week is the end of the speculation, and we finally get to see it. But something tells me it's not going to be as straightforward as that, unfortunately. Anyway, April 5th, 2:36 p.m., Committee for Prosecutorial Excellence, Chamber. We just lagged there for a second. Meanwhile, Kay walks in completely smooth. Wait, this room... Officer, isn't this... Yes, sir. This is the trial chamber of the Committee for Prosecutorial Excellence. I myself a human, so I'm not covering up as much of the words here. It's actually harder to see the words behind the human than it is behind the bird, because of just the black outlines. Wish I could play cross-platform. Can't even have my save data on both phone and tablet, but could transfer it at least. TCG Pocket doesn't do that. DNA knows their shit. So it's here now? I knew that they moved out of the prosecutor's building, but I had no idea that they'd come here. Big building pamphlet data updated my organizer. Oh, Mr. Edgeworth, and Kay, too. I have no voice to give that person. 50th floor, committee chamber. Wow, how convenient is that, huh? One floor from the top viewing platform is the PCE. Sorry, CPE. I keep thinking of the fan translation. The fan translation was a different abbreviation. Oh, Mr. Edgeworth, and Kay, too. How are you all doing? Is Kay feeling any better? We heard there was some kind of incident. I'm sorry, but who might this be? This is my grandma. Hold on 1 second. Name's Hilda Hertz, Sonny. And who the heck might you be? Ahem. It's a pleasure to meet you. Prosecutor Miles Edgeworth at your service. Forgot about these two entirely, yeah. Nurse Needler, your grandmother's name, Hertz. Is she... Yep, she's the director of the Hertz Hospital. This old woman is the head of a hospital? Don't you old fogey me, you danged reprobate. Ahem. How did she do that? Whoa, sounds like you're kind of a big deal, ma'am. Oh, that's not true. Ahem. Not wrong. Not wrong at all. Oh, him? He's the one looking after the girl. The one with the amnesia. Yeah, you never actually hear her talk. She always whispers to, Needler. And then Needler just says what she's saying. It seems Dr. Hertz is a bit of an introvert. Want me to fix those brow furrows of yours, Sonny? Oh, there's no fixing those, ma'am. They're downright incurable. What, you're sure you want me to say that, Grandma? Well, alright then. Now, I don't got a dang thing more to say to none of ya. You gonna go on about your business, you hear? As long as that business doesn't involve messing with the deceased body, I got work to do. Wait, please, Not a dang thing, I tell ya. Hey, you can't talk to us like that. What gives you the right, huh, pal? Oh, didn't I mention? Grandma's also a coroner. She's in charge of this case, which means... Ow! Which means exactly that. Ahem. What do you mean, exactly what? How am I supposed to know? How am I supposed to know? She said it, not me. It's like I'm trapped in a comedy routine I can't escape. We've got a body to be looking at. Catch you later, gang, and take care. Whoop, 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 whoop. Love that instrument. Okay. The heck is their deal? What does it matter, as long as we have permission to investigate? What does it matter? Matters a bunch, sir. What will you do now, Mr. Edgeworth? Examine the scene of the crime, of course. What kind of prosecutor would I be if I didn't? Alright, let's get to work. That person over there is called Kay, right? Surely that means I can't be the Kay you know. That's what we're looking to figure out, but don't worry. You're the Kay we know. I'm certain of it. Thanks. Kay who lost her memory and a Kay who shares her name. Both meeting their respective fates here at the big building. No doubt this case will be the key to restoring Kay's memories. Our Kay's memories. I'd stake my life on it. Committee for Prosecutorial Excellence. Chamber. If things had gone the way they were meant to, I'd be standing at this podium right now. Yeah, I guess so, huh? I'm glad the hearing got delayed, but I wish it wasn't because someone died. Although it would have been that much harder to investigate had my badge been taken away. Best thing I could do right now is for all parties involved is to get to the truth behind this incident. Officer, tell me about the security arrangements for this room. Yes, sir. Need a special key card to enter, sir. Interesting. So not just anybody can enter here. Security key card is needed. In which case, the person who discovered the body would have been... Yes, sir. Member of the committee. They found it when they arrived for today's hearing. The hearing. My hearing. Which would be underway right now if it wasn't for this. Huh. Kind of a stroke of luck there, huh? Yes? Can I help you with something? This is quite the room. Big wooden boxes full of books. The big person carved out of stone? The sparkly window? Seems you've forgotten the names of some everyday objects. Let me try to jog your memory, Kay. Repeat after me. Bookshelves. Books. Elves. Stained glass. Stolen glassware. Law books. Lawbreaker. Goddess statue. Got this snatch too? Damn it! She said that word again. Is it just me, or are all her mistakes pointing in a certain direction? Miles Edgeworth, you were loudly claiming to be my assistant just the other day, Kay. Do you really not remember anything? Does nothing about me come up to mind at all? Well, aside from me fumbling that line there. Oh, maybe I do remember one thing. I remember being on the viewing platform up on the roof. Yes, and you were pointing your finger at me. Go on. And asking me questions with a scary look on your face. That was only a few minutes ago. Ah, poor kid. Literally your only memory of you is trying to catch her in a contradiction, sir. I'd be scared too. I'd even just given up right then and there. Yeah, that'd be the enemy for sure. You think that's scary, Detective? Just you wait. You must remember Detective Gumshoe, Kay. You and he were very close. Yeah. Don't I remind you of anything? Remind me of, Wait, I do remember something. I remember Mr. Edgeworth scolding you, and not just once, hundreds of times. That's no memory, kid. That's just the joy of our day-to-day life together. Isn't that right, Mr. Edgeworth? Joy, is it? Must not be doing a good enough job reprimanding you, then. Her music, yeah, I love her theme in this chapter. It's technically a reminiscence theme, I think. I'll just have to try harder next time. Kay's recollections. Kay remembers a person coming from beyond the concession stand and pushing her off the building. Remember the person in the red raincoat? That much I'm pretty sure of. But were they really coming toward you from beyond the concession stand? Yes, they were walking right toward me. And I have proof. Of course I do. I remember they had legs. But there's nothing out there beyond the stand. How could they have been walking on thin air? I don't know. Maybe they were a ghost? A ghost? I'm sorry, Kay, but ghosts don't exist. They're the very antithesis of science. Antithesis. Antithebith. Then this is one of those contradictions, huh? I was carrying this, wasn't I? I'm sorry, I don't remember anything about it. Nothing at all? Even the tiniest clue could help. Alright, let's see. Ah, yeah, they do. That's the funny thing, too. Edgeworth knows it exists, and he's seen it happen. In person. How does he not realize that this stuff's real? He's used the Magatama before. He's seen Psyche Locks. He knows supernatural bullshit exists. I think I might have just grabbed it on reflex when whatever happened to me happened. There's a saying, right? A falling person will clutch at a straw? What's the matter? Oh, you're making a strange face. You spoke to one, apparently? Really? That's interesting. I'd love to hear about that. I don't want to dissuade you from trying, but please, I need you to think a little more before you speak. I understand. It's really funny, so I'm not gonna spoil future games, but I will say that spirit channeling does come back in a future game in like a very, very big way, where it's like, it's literally impossible to decry it as like sci-fi bullshit in that universe. Like, they literally just have to, like, acknowledge that spirit channeling exists. And that dead people can come back to life, temporarily. Can't be easy reading books that size, or lifting them for that matter. And the committee only just moved. Must have been quite the undertaking. Hauling stuff around is kind of my forte. They should have given me a call. Well, if you run into the chairman, I'll be sure to ask if there's more heavy lifting to be done. I was joking, sir. Can't be carrying stuff up 50 flights of stairs. I have a real job to do. I was joking too, Detective. But why were you planning on taking the stairs? Nice, neatly arranged bookshelf stretching off into the distance. Quite a pleasing sight, don't you think? Sure is. Not a speck of dust on any of them. Reminds me of my special method for cleaning your office, sir. Sweep, then vacuum, then wipe it all down twice. Then on goes the floor wax, and then... If only you approached your actual job with the same level of rigor. That's a lot of books, sir. It's kind of intimidating, if you ask me. Intimidating? What could be more welcoming than a good book, detective? Guess that depends. Got to chewing out of my life in a library back in the day for running laps inside it. But this isn't really a library, is it? So maybe I could jog around a little, work off some of the anxiety? Something tells me that if I didn't stop him, he might very well start running around and around. Also, more dynamic lighting here. Look. Like, you can actually see the reflection off Gumshoe, like the light, off from the stained glass. And then when you walk here, they actually get darker, because they get shadowed. That's really cool. Enormous semicircular desks with seating for 11. Almost reminds me of a certain legend. I know the one, sir. Knights of the, Brown Table, right? Whoops, guess that wasn't it. The Newts of the Brown Table? The Knives of the Brown Stable? Further and further from the mark. But I'll refrain from rubbing his nose in it. For now. It's a statue of the Goddess of Justice. You sure know your stuff, sir. So does she dole out blessings, or what? She's not that kind of goddess, detective. She's a symbol of the sanctity of law. Blah, blah, blah. It's weird how you basically remember nothing of Spirit of Justice. Was just about to say, weird that it's never really a thing they revisit. Oh, it is. Spirit of Justice brings it back in spades. Good light, yeah. That's so cool. I wonder if that's in the original at all. I don't think so. I could switch the sprites, but then, like, I'd have to reload it. Also, the lighting might still affect the new version as well. You don't know. Round Table, the pizza place. There's a place down by the ocean where I live, down in Atlantic City. Well, that's not really by where I live. That's further down south in Jersey. But Atlantic City, there's a pizza place that serves a, like, pizza that's the size of the table that you're supposed to eat with, like 6 other people. And I'm just like, challenge accepted, baby. I'm going down there and I'm eating a whole damn pie. Only remember, like, the yokai case in that game. That's not even the same game. That's Dual Destinies. Spirit of Justice has the Rakugo case that everyone loves for one specific reason, even though it's literally the worst case in the series. Yes, it is. The yokai case is 5-2. That's how little you remember of Spirit of Justice. You remember the case from an entirely different game. I actually find that really funny that it's that unmemorable. To me, Spirit of Justice stuck out because it's 60 hours long, and I'm not looking forward to replaying it, even though it is a good game. Round Table Pizza is real. Pizzeria Bate Papo. Never heard of that. The scales represent justice, the sword retribution, and the blindfold shows her impartiality. Must scour the scene and inspect anything that catches my attention. Whoa, this is one big statue. What's it even for? Goddess of Justice stands in judgment over the committee's proceedings against corrupt prosecutors. And if I'm not very much mistaken, it's a Paul Halik original. You mean the victim from the IS-7 incident, sir? Mr. Artie Frost? No matter how murky his name or morals were, there's no denying his skill. This is a genuine work of art. Heard someplace that a lot of good artists that either... Someplace that had a lot of good... What is this fucking line? Hold on. I heard someplace that a lot of good artists are either geniuses or eccentrics. Which do you think he was? I don't know about Halik, but Larry is definitely an eccentric. There's a pool of blood here at the foot of the statue. Judging by the amount and how it was spread, I'd say this is where the victim was killed. But the body's on that table behind us, sir. How come? Blech. I only surmise the killer must have moved it for some reason after committing the murder. By the way, this case isn't as long as the last one. It's about 2/3 as long, so expect this to be maybe a day or two. I'm probably not finishing it tonight just because I started late. Sorry to intrude. Look who it is. By the way, this is the last game Franziska appears in, so enjoy her final appearance here. Huh? What's that, Grandma? I'd know that voice anywhere. That's Von Karma's little girl. Oh, so you two know each other. It's been too long, Grandma Hertz. And you as well, Miles Edgeworth. It's literally been a week. What's she doing here? Franziska von Karma. She's the daughter of Manfred von Karma and a prosecutor like myself. These days, she's mainly been working with Interpol, though I thought she was supposed to be abroad. Don't look so surprised. Where my investigations lead, I follow, no matter where in the world that might be. Which means that there must be some kind of international angle to this case, yes? You know full well that I've been pursuing a certain smuggling ring. And that I won't rest until it's been destroyed, and its ill-gotten goods recovered. So the smuggling ring is involved here, then. That information is to be shared on a need-to-know basis, and you don't need to know. My thumbnail hurts, I bit it today, and I had the loose skin on it, and I bit it off, and got irritated. Looked at the cases that are in Spirit of Justice, and the Magic Stage one you remember a bit now. Not really the rest of the game. Case is literally the filler case of the game, yeah. How many BDSM ladies are in this game? Just 2. Hey, Zijimong. I see she means to be as helpful as Ether. Ether? Good job, Michael. Miss Von Karma, was it? Grandma wants to tell you something. I'm about done here. Scene's all yours. In that case, we'd like to examine the body ourselves too, if you wouldn't mind. I mind plenty. I remember where I heard your name now, you danged varmint. Don't no need no soon-to-be ex-prosecutor messing the place up. Go on, get. Oh, just remember, it's not me saying this stuff, okay? Please, Granny, it's important. Who you calling a granny, little missy? Eek! I'm sorry, I didn't mean to offend you. This is going nowhere. I didn't want to do this, but... Franziska, I need you to add us to this investigation. We have to see that body up close, or we'll never learn the truth about what happened to Kay. As in, Kay Faraday? Please, you gotta help us here. Kay needs us. I don't know what you're up to, but very well. Thank you. You won't regret it. Of course, I expect to receive a full explanation when I grill you later. We owe you, sir. Big time. I wasn't talking to you, Scruffy. That's the first whip of the game. Ah! Well, Grandma Hertz, will you allow them to examine the body? I ain't about to say no to an international big shot like yourself, hon. But you sure about this? Yeah, I agree with Grandma. Are you sure you're sure? Of course I'm sure. It's my prerogative to judge the whole world in my name. That's just common sense. Of the extremely arrogant sort, perhaps. Suit yourself, but don't say I didn't warn you. Well, you heard her. Try not to get fired, okay? Don't worry. I'll take a lot more than this to ruin my reputation should things turn sour. I'll just foist it all on Edgeworth there. Unlike me, who's on the verge of losing my badge. The last whippity-whip trip, yep. No, actually not the last whippity-whip trip. Just the last from Franziska, specifically. Alright, grilling. Is it gonna count? Okay, all this stuff is still examined. You pesky kids want something? Ahem. Nurse Needler, could you tell me a little bit more about your relationship with Dr. Hertz? Sure, let's see. Well, I've lived with her since I was little. If I got lost while I was out playing, she'd come looking for me till the sun went down. If I fell over and grazed my knee, she'd watch over me till I found the strength to pick myself up. To pick myself up, god damn it. Another typo. I'm gonna have to report that one to Ephraim. I've been showing him every typo in the game that I'm finding. Yeah, if you want the Apollo Justice Collection, wait for a sale, because it does go on sale occasionally. If you're looking to get one of the games in it. Just for one game, rather. I will say, I haven't played it, but I've booted it up, and it has the most production value out of literally every other collection. Like, even more than this one. You can customize the music on every, like, splash screen for each game. And you can have cutscenes playing in the background. It's wild how, like, detailed and customizable it is. Also, there's literally a courtroom maker in it. Like, you get to like, place the courtroom models in the thing however you want. It's really weird, like, the amount of detail they put in that collection compared to all the others. Like, this and the Great Ace Attorney are like the A-level collections. The original trilogy is like the B-level collection, and then Apollo Justice is like an S-level collection with its production value. I'll be playing Great Ace Attorney first anyway, so I don't know when I'll get to that. Yeah, take your time. Great Ace Attorney's great, by the way, as the name implies. You will really enjoy it. It's slow to start, but like once it picks up, and it has a really good overarching narrative. That's quite the heartwarming tale. Very classic grandmother-grandchild relationship. And once I became a nurse, if I stuck a needle in the wrong place, she'd say, "Not there, you bonehead, there!" Then she'd pull it right out and ow! Ouch, I felt that, pal. Can we stop talking about needle? Ken, stop talking. Oh my god, 2 typos in the same conversation. Can you stop talking about needles now? Anyway, so yeah, I can do any kind of nursing thing that I need for Grandma now. But thank you. That's a very thorough answer indeed. Even if the story didn't end on a heartwarming note, it's nice that they share such a close bond, I suppose. You must be the best coroner in town, Dr. Hertz. Bet you could spot the cause of death in seconds and get it right every time, huh? What do you know about coronering, you big galoot? You don't know the first dang thing. Why'd I say it in an old lady voice? It's Needler saying that. Ouch! You'll have to forgive the detective, Dr. Hertz. I'll make sure he learns not to say such presumptuous things. As if I care. You shut your pie hole and listen, Mr. Smarty Pants. Spotting the cause of death correctly in seconds is my bread and butter. Which is why the one thing that gets my goat worse than anything is folks getting in my danged way. I think that's all she wanted to say. Satisfied? Absolutely. Thank you very much. All we want to do is examine the body for clues. We'll do our best to stay out of your way. I imagine it's because of how seriously she takes her work that she reacts so colorfully to us. Seeing these games in 60 FPS is weird, yeah. GAA has mods for 60 FPS and 16 by 10. I hope the AG collection is similar enough for those mods to exist for it too. Well, the thing about the AJ collection is that it has because it has 2 different engines running, because you have the sprite-based one for Apollo Justice, and then you have the 3D one for the other 2 games. Oh my god, so good. I'm so glad I tried that hot Dr. Pepper before, because it's like my favorite thing now. Hertz Hospital is the finest medical institution in the land. It'd have to be with Grandma in charge. How about it? You look like you use some R&R. You sure do, and you're in luck. We got us an empty suite or 2 with fancy hot tubs all right now. Thank you, but as you can see, we're in perfectly fine health. We won't be needing a room at the hospital. Yep, fit as fiddle and strong as oxes. That's our motto, right? Maybe yours, Detective, but I'd like to think I have a little more going for me than that. Doesn't matter, Hertz Hospital welcomes the hale and hearty, too. Our Healthy? So What? Stay Anyway campaign is in full swing, and going great. Not sick or injured? That's nice. Your room is half the price. Nothing on earth can convince me to spend a night in the hospital for pleasure. This is a one-time offer, you know, so how about it? Come stay at the happiest hospital in town. A hot tub does sound pretty good. And half price. This might be too good to miss. Seriously, Detective? So glad we found you so quickly. That Kay would have been lost without her dear old dad. I'm not her father. I'm simply an acquaintance. Really? Then why did she leave your business card? Have your business card. Also, that would be very awkward because Kay is 17 and Edgeworth is, Edgeworth's like 24, 25 right now. 26 at most. So he's only like 9 years older than her. How many children do you know walk around with their parents' business cards in their pockets? I have Grandma's. That way I can be sure. Ow! Who gives a hoot if you're the girl's father? You took her in. You dang well better look after her. I fully intend to. You needn't worry about that. Kay is safe with me. That's a prosecutor's badge, right? I've seen a few of them before. Ow! Quit flashing that badge around me, you no-good soon-to-be ex-prosecutor. If you like the dang thing so much, maybe you should have tried harder to keep it. It's not the badge I care about. I have more important things to protect. I don't even need to ask Grandma to know what she'd say to that. Getting wrapped up in some long thing's the only way forward sometimes. What? Thank you for such therapeutic advice. I'll bear it in mind. He's only 25 and he's a world-class lawyer. But wait, he's 23 in the first game, I think. Is he 23 or 24? Now I have to look that up, because I need to know. He is... That's 26. Well, he was 20 when he started. Wow, they really don't tell you the exact age, huh? They do in the games. Yeah, so he's, so he's 26 right now. Yeah. But he was a lawyer since the age of 23. The thing is, like, in this world, you could become a lawyer, like, before you're even an adult. Because, Franziska here was a lawyer at 17. A prosecutor at 17, and so is Winter. Eustace Winter is also 17. Again, it's worth noting that this is now 2 years, like, late after she's introduced, so she's 19. But she was a lawyer before then. Never mind what the heck that is. Come here and give me a look at your ruffles, son. I don't need your opinion on my outfit, Dr. Hertz. I need your opinion on this piece of evidence. Ain't interested, I gotta say. I'm not really interested either, honestly. Maybe I'll have better luck with something else. Look up the mobile ports to see how much they are individually on Android. $20 for Spirit of Justice. We'll have investigations, and wow, that port looks extra ugly now that we got this new one. Really? Are the sprites just, like, super weird looking in it? Like that original HD version on iPhone that looks terrible? How's the investigation going, officer? Great, sir. To tell you the truth, I've forgotten all about work and decided to focus on daydreaming. They say if you think in pictures instead of words, it's really good for the right side of your brain, so... that'll be quite enough. It's the original sprites on HD backgrounds and a boring-looking UI. Yes, what is it? Also 4-3. I mean, that's just phone stuff. Murder in the trial chamber of the Committee for Prosecutorial Excellence. This is serious. I did you the favor of allowing you to investigate further. I'll be expecting results. And you'll get them. Would I still be here if I didn't think I could deliver? Kinda think of it. Why were you here in the first place? So she doesn't know I was summoned before the committee. That's a long story. Longer than the nighttime. And deeper than the sea. How about we save Mr. Edgeworth the trouble and I'll tell you it myself? On second thought, I don't care why you're here. What's important is that we solve the case in front of us. Agreed? Wholeheartedly. Wait, but you were the one who asked in the first place, sir! What's that saying again? Whip first, think later? Can't you make it the other way around just for me? What are you doing here, Franziska? I thought you were working abroad on something with Interpol. Wouldn't you like to know? That's top secret, and I have neither the need nor the obligation to tell you. Thought she'd say as much. Anyway, never mind that. Where's the prosecutor in charge of this case? Not that I know who's been assigned, but I was hoping they'd take care of the legwork for me. Yet they haven't even bothered to show up. What in the world could they be doing? Yeah, well, I'm not the prosecutor's keeper, sir. It's hardly fair to whip people who don't deserve it, Franziska. What use is a whip if you don't use it, And who better to use it on than anybody who isn't giving 110%? I may not know who's already been assigned, but I 110% feel for them already. The way that's spaced out there looks really awkward. It's not a typo, though. It just looks like I0. For some reason, on iOS, all the games you could buy the episodes individually, but you can only buy the full game on Android. Yeah, that was just the Capcom's thing back in the day, because they released it gradually, I think, or they made it so that like you didn't have to pay for the first episode, and you could buy each at your leisure if you wanted to play more. I don't know. Capcom's kind of mellowed out on that because they know they can't get away with it anymore. Couldn't help but notice that you seem to be acquainted with Dr. Hertz. How very astute of you, Miles Edgeworth. Yes, I know her. Once upon a time, we... Never mind. She doesn't seem to want to talk about it. Perhaps I'd better leave it for now. What happened, sir? What happened once upon a time? You can't not tell us now. Ow! Only a foolishly fool foolishly pries into another person's business. Now hold on to your tongue, Scruffy, or you'll be getting more than a mere tongue lashing. It's a bit late for that. Spare the whip, spoil the child. A whip in time saves 9. Didn't you go to school, you whipless wonder? You're really... Ugh! Yes, it seems that leaving it alone was the right choice after all. She's really playing into the whip puns this game. She's also much more mellow than she was in the previous game, to be fair. like you to take a look at this, Franziska. Fine. What am I looking at? My Prosecutor's badge. And? Just want to show it to you, that's all. Oh! Ah, good. So you do still feel pain. And what's that supposed to mean? Just wanted to make sure you hadn't foolishly gone and lost all your brain function yet. Miles Edgeworth, you might have plenty of time on your hands, but I'm a busy woman. I don't have time to look over every piece of garbage you thrust in front of me. Now put it away and consider the evidence in your possession more carefully before bothering me again. She's every bit as unforgiving as ever, I see. So Kay Faraday has lost her memory. How could you let that happen, you fool? I unfortunately have no good answer for that. Excuse me, but it's not Mr. Edgeworth's fault. How are you walking around? You're covered from head to toe in bandages. Oh, thank you for your concern, but I'm fine, honest. You're really not yourself, are you? I didn't even say anything worth thanking me for. Miles Edgeworth, you better get her memory back ASAP, or you'll be sorry. You could just say with your words that you're worried about her, you know. Fool, 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 fool. Yep. It's interesting because, like, her dialogue in this game is a lot more mature. Like, it really seems like after everything that's happened in the third game and then the Edgeworth games, that she's kind of, like, matured and mellowed out a lot in her, relentless pursuit of, perfection. And now we have Winter instead. What a great trade-off. Well, one thing's for certain. This isn't Kay. She doesn't even look like her. I think we already knew that, Detective. Our Kay's standing right over there, after all. Victim looks to be in her 30s. She's wearing a white suit. Could be she worked in one of the offices here in the building. Perhaps, but for now she remains unidentified. Question is, why do the police seem to think her name was Kay? I'll scour the scene and inspect anything that catches my attention. This book! What the? That's Kay's promise notebook! It's where she wrote down all the promises she made to her dad. Haven't seen this in a while. Indeed. Never take things from a stranger, never go anywhere with a stranger. It's a book of vows made by a child to her father. Always greet people with a smile, even people you don't know. Never cry in front of strangers. Always try your hardest to learn about things you don't understand. What exactly is it doing here? Oh, I just remembered something Detective Bad told me a few years back. He said something precious to Kay had disappeared from the station. What? Evidence went missing from police custody. Detective Bad said he looked for it everywhere, but no dice. What could this mean? And why did it turn up here of all places? You there. What do we know about this notebook, officer? The victim was holding it when they found her, sir. It was the only thing with any kind of name on it at the time. Fool with a U. A U with an umlaut. So that's how she became Kay. Talk about a red herring. This doesn't explain how she ended up with it, though. Only had a few more leads on the victim's true identity. You think this could be the murder weapon? A 3-armed candelabrum. Victim suffered the same number of puncture wounds in the chest. Puncture wounds that could well have been made by these spikes. A candle album? Not quite, Detective. A candelabrum. A candle holder, in other words. Ah, I gotcha. That reminds me. Forgot to pay my electricity bill once a while back, and had to live by candlelight for a whole month. Who does that in this day and age? Candelabrum, 3-armed candle holder that may have been the murder weapon, judging by the wounds to the victim's chest. A pure white jacket with a deep red stain on its lapel. This jacket, the buttons are on the wearer's right-hand side. What's so weird about that? Buttons always go on the right, no? Not on women's clothing. Traditionally, the buttons would be on the left. Like I always say, sir, you sure know your stuff. This is common knowledge, Detective. Nothing else seems amiss. Wait, what's that in this pocket? Pair of gloves, also white. They don't seem to be soiled in any way. I imagine they must have belonged to the victim. Daughter of my mentor, Manfred von Karma. She's a highly talented prosecutor and is currently working with Interpol. Hilda Hertz, age 60. Wow. They really age up people. According, like, no 60-year-old actually looks like that. The head of Hertz Hospital carried out the preliminary inspection of the victim in this case. That's wild that she's only 60 and she looks like that. That's not how a 60-year-old looks. Some do. Not. I've become more and more aware that old people really don't look like that until they're generally in their 70s or 80s, depending on how terribly they took care of their body. Okay, true, if you take bad care of your body, you could look older, but, like, that's, like, turbo old right there. Like that character from that anime. That's actually a cat that I thought was an old lady. And, she steals the main character's balls or something. I can't remember. I haven't watched it yet. Who says she's in a smoker? I mean, she works at a hospital. I hope she wouldn't be. Seems she suffered a serious burn to her hand at some point. Think it has something to do with how she died? No, the scar's too old for that. Imagine it happened some time ago. She's holding something. Detective, could you open your hand for me? Yes, sir, right away. What is this? Wait, I know. It's a loyalty card, probably from a store ouch! It's a key card. Why, sir, why? The question that we should be asking is, what does it open? What do you think it opens? The door to the place, probably. Interesting looking scar. Didn't we see another character with something on his hand? There's something pinned to the jacket here. Piece of magenta fabric. Whatever it was, it looks like it was torn off pretty roughly. Oh, that was Gumshoe. Whatever it was, looks like it was torn off pretty roughly. It doesn't look like there's anything in the chest pocket. Nothing except this hole right here. By the look of how the fabric was torn, I think it was pierced by something sharp. Can't keep your coins in there now. They'd all fall right out. Have you never heard of a change purse, detective? Sure have, sir. It's another word for a pocket, right? I give up. The victim's hair is caked with blood, too. Looks like she was hit with something, huh? Unfortunately, it's too early to say for certain. Perhaps an answer will turn up as we investigate further. Turn the music volume up a bit, because I notice it's not hitting 25. Anything we didn't investigate here yet? No. But we know what to deduce. We know what that is. Could this be related to the evidence somehow? Eureka! Judging by its appearance, I'd say the flower that Kay was carrying originally belonged to this victim. Yeah, now that you mention it, it does look like it's made of the same fabric. Indeed. Let's make a closer comparison here. The torn edges match up exactly. You've got one heck of an eye, sir. It opens up the doors at Silphco. I get it wouldn't be anytime soon, but I'm curious if you might ever stream the Layton games, too. I wouldn't be opposed to it. Here's the problem. I have all the Layton games, the main Layton games. I don't have the Catriel Layton game. I have all the Layton game. Well, no, I don't even have them. I have all the 3DS Layton games, and I was playing through one, but I never did. I never finished it. I wouldn't be opposed to playing them on stream, but I kind of don't want to restart it. If I do restart it, I would likely not be doing all the puzzles in them, at least for the first 4. Also, I don't know how I would play that series. I don't know if I would do it the same, because this I'm doing it in chronological order in terms of the games take place. The Layton series, on the other hand, is very specifically present-day trilogy, prequel trilogy, and then future spin-off. So I don't know if I'd stream the prequel trilogy first, the sequel trilogy, or the present-day trilogy first, if you could call it present-day. But I do enjoy... I have played 4 of the 6 main Layton games, and one of the 2 spin-offs. So I wouldn't be opposed to streaming it. I do enjoy that series. 2 of the spin-offs, excuse me. Because I have played Layton vs. Ace Attorney as well. I would love to stream that game. That game is fun. Want to play the first game yourself, Suma? Conflicted if I want to play it on DS or the remake. There's a remake of the first game? What? I didn't know that. Magenta flower data updated my organizer, torn from the victim's clothes. If the flower belonged to the victim, this implies a connection between the victim and Kay Faraday. Furthermore, it appears that the flower was torn off with considerable force. Kay Faraday was involved in the incident somehow, and based on what we're seeing here, may have no choice but to treat her as our main suspect. What? But there's no way she could have done this! Can't even begin to imagine it! There isn't a murderous bone in her body! Nevertheless, we lack the evidence to disprove such an assertion. For the moment, we're simply considering all the possibilities. Isn't that right, Miles Edgeworth? For better or for worse, yes. The DS Trilogy has mobile remakes. I don't know how good they are exactly, but they seem to have good reviews. Okay. Nothing else to deduce here. Nothing else to examine, from what I can tell. Yes, sir? Didn't take long for Miss Von Karma to start waving her whip around, huh? Try keeping my distance, but she's too quick. Can't get out of the way in time. I wouldn't bother, Detective. Sometimes the more you try to move away, the more the whip seems to find its mark. Yeah, it's enough to make you want to give up altogether. I should know. I've been smacked around by Miss Von Karma at least as much as you, sir. Good for you. So the victim had Kay's old notebook, huh? She did, which is why they thought her name was Kay, too. Talk about jumping to conclusions. I ought to arrest somebody for that. If you're keen to arrest somebody, Detective, how about you look for and arrest the murderer? Ouch. I was totally going to help with that too, sir. Yes, I suppose all I can offer at this point is help. In any case, there may still be clues we've missed. Let's take another look at the body carefully. Wonder how Kay lost her memory. Yes, I'm afraid we still don't know enough at the moment to figure that out. But the victim did have Kay's promise notebook in her possession, which suggests that Kay might have had some connection to this case. So if Kay gets her memory back, it might lead to some huge breakthrough in the investigation? Not so sure the outlook is quite that rosy. Oh, I just thought of a way we could cure Kay's amnesia. Want to hear? I can already tell this is going to be terrible, so no. In fact, do me a favor and lock it away deep inside. But sir, just listen, okay? First we gotta get a great big mallet, then I'll take aim for one big whack and... Turn the key now, Detective. Turn it and throw it away. I think it's still the digital dual screen layout, pseudo dual screen layout, holding the device vertically though. Like an HD version than a proper remake. I think there's a new dub too, really? Pretty sure Layton has always been voiced by the same guy. Who's, funny enough, Team 4-Star got to show up in one of the DBZ abridged movies as Bubbles. Okay, I guess it's logic time. Room security key card. There we go. Same VA, just probably re-recorded. Oh, okay. I don't know why you'd want Layton to be re-recorded. That man, that voice actor, he's perfection for that character, truly. Would imagine the victim's key card probably grants access to this room, wouldn't you? Let me go find out, sir. To be honest, I would love to stream at least the original trilogy of Professor Layton, because, oh my god, anyone who has not seen that will start bawling when I get to the end of the third game. It is absolutely one of the most bittersweet endings to a game I've ever witnessed. It's really sad. I'm back. They found some details on that key card in the security system. It's for this room, just like you said. So the victim was able to enter and exit this chamber freely. Assuming that the key card actually belonged to her, yes. Indeed. Key card that grants entry to the committee chamber, found in the victim's hand. Bet they just lost the original high-quality audio or something and didn't want to use DS quality. Seems we're no closer to discovering the identity of our victim. Then am I really Kay? Can you really be sure? Of course we're sure. What are you talking about? Thank you. And that person lying there? Is someone you may have murdered, but that's all we could say for now. No, there's no way she did it. Isn't that right, sir? Indeed. I don't believe the Kay we know could have done something like this. You're becoming a real softie, Miles Edgeworth. Well, look who it is again. Ugh, I know that voice. We're hashtag winnering. With a winning smile and #1 name in its business, it is I, Prosecutor Eustace Winner. Please forgive the intrusion. Step away from that body, Edgeworth. I didn't call for you, and I don't need you. This case is mine. It's what the victim would have wanted. You knew the victim? So it really is her. Be not afraid, everyone, for the goddess of justice will guide us to the truth. Sure she will. She sure will, rather. Now that I'm here, everything's going to be alright. Whoever did this will live to regret it. I'll show them what... Miles Edgeworth, who is this imbecile? Why am I getting the death glare? I've got nothing to do with him. Franziska von Karma, I presume. My apologies, I should have introduced myself sooner. Verity Gavel, at your service. Yep. In the case for 1 second and he gets whipped. And the deceased in this case is... Rosie Ringer, attorney at law, and a member of the Committee for Prosecutorial Excellence. I see. That would explain the key card. Thank you, Mrs. Von... It's Miss Von Karma. She's not married. She's 19. Also, I don't know who the hell would fall in love with her. Or rather, who would be able to stand getting whipped by her constantly. Because, let's be honest, Larry is head over heels for her. So you have the lead prosecutor. Yep, which means this case will be solved in... You didn't tell me your name yet, little boy. If you want to know my name, all you have to do is... Ow! Stop babbling and tell me, now. It's Eustace. Eustace Winner. I think we've established where the balance of power lies in this particular room. Mr. Guy in charge? Here, this is from Grandma. What's this? Oh, the preliminary findings. Looks like it's game over for you, Edgeworth. This isn't a game, Mr. Winner. She still gets shipped with Maya a lot. Oh, true. Forgot about that. Too bad she doesn't show up in the sequel series, or sequel trilogy. Alright, that's me done. See you next stiff. Yeah, home time. I could murder a bowl of noodles right about now. It's a good line. We're out of here, everybody. Stay healthy. Peace. Let's see. So the wound on her head is from when she fell over after she died? Eustace. It was the candle holder that killed her, huh? And she died sometime late last night. Eustace Winner, 17. The greatest prosecutor ever to prosecute, according to himself anyway. In actual fact, his relationship with logic is tenuous at best. It's funny how Franziska calls him boy, even though she's only 2 years older than him. Verity Gavel acts as the mouthpiece, same as before. Rosie Ringer, age 33. The victim in this case. She was defense attorney and served on the committee alongside Judge Gavel. Interesting that she was a defense attorney, yet she served on the prosecutorial committee. The base is a very unique shape. If it were removed from a dusty shelf or something, it would be immediately obvious where it had been standing there. What had been standing there, excuse me. The prongs of each arm are covered in blood. Spacing matches those of the wound in the victim's chest. But is this really the murder weapon? Remember following someone who shipped her with Adrian Andrews, even though the game had only 2 interactions? Well, it's because at the end of the 3rd game, Adrian mentions that Franziska's been showing Adrian how to use a whip. So she believes that she and... Also, Franziska tells Adrian... Franziska tells Adrian at the end of the 2nd game that if she ever needs help with anything, to contact her at any time. So I think Franziska was offering to be like an emotional, like, kind of support for Adrian to help overcome her codependence. So I think it's implied that she at least has kept in touch with her. To some extent. We don't know the full extent of it, but... She's hundreds of years older than him in terms of maturity. Oh yeah, absolutely. To be fair... Franziska kind of isn't the most mature person either with how often she whips people. They'd be good friends. Yeah, I could see that. Yeet them. Well, what now, Gavel? It's very kind of you to share the coroner's findings with everybody, Eustace. But perhaps you should leave it there. We wouldn't want you to strain your voice, after all. No, that would be a tragedy. Cause of death, stab wounds to the chest. Head injury sustained post-mortem. Anyway, that settles it. We need to arrest Kay. Wait. Kay Faraday, excuse me. What? What the heck are you talking about? I think Eustace's meaning was very clear. Miss Faraday is the murderer. And though she is dressed differently than usual, this young lady covered in bandages is Miss Faraday herself, correct? You really mean to arrest her here and now? If you do, then I'll be forced to object, loudly and forcefully. And as if further confirmation were needed, there it is. The committee was right to call your conduct into question. It is questionable in the extreme. Please, Mr. Edgeworth, just go. It's fine. Fine? This is anything but fine, Kay. I still don't remember anything. So maybe I did do it. Maybe I killed that poor woman and I just don't remember. The goddess smiles on those who confess their sins. It is her wish that our confessions cleanse us. She applauds your commitment to the cause of justice, as do I. Judge Gavel, Eustace, if you really intend to arrest Kay, could you at least explain your grounds for doing so? I, for one, certainly don't intend to yield, not until I've seen some evidence to support your accusations. Then allow me! Prepare to be hit with a face full of deductive genius, Edgeworth. Why, I think Kay did it. They call it the human race because somebody has to win it, and that somebody is me. I won this race, too. I saw it before anybody else did. Kay Faraday is the murderer, no doubt about it. She snuck into the committee chamber looking to do some of her trademark great thieving, which means that nobody but her could have killed Rosie Ringer. Deductive genius? That was a total mess. And if Detective Gumshoe is saying that, you know it must be bad. I asked you to explain your grounds for arresting Kay, yet you've explained exactly nothing. True. But we haven't seen any proof of her innocence, either. It's alright, Kay. Mr. Edgeworth will pull off a miracle somehow. You just gotta believe in him. But my deductions aren't acts of divine intervention, you know. Well, Miles Edgeworth, I hate for you to disappoint me. But in the event that you do, I will be sure to freely let you know. Can we whip him again? Gumshoe's right. Looked up the differences in the HD Layton showed you. There's actually not as much as you thought, but I'm sad to see there's 3 changed puzzles because of the DS's microphone. And one that required you to look up something in the manual. Gotta see what that was originally. I have no idea what that one was. I'm gonna say this. The DS Layton games I did not play, let's say, up above the board. So I had no manual.
Hold it!
There are 2 major flaws with that statement you just made. Flaws? In a statement of mine? I don't make mistakes, it's literally impossible. And that's a 3rd flaw right there. You're just trying to confuse me. It's a cheap tactic, even for you. Well, it won't work, because I'm the world champion of not getting confused. So there.
Hold it!
Would you mind explaining the grounds for your accusation in a little more detail? Well, if you insist. Prepare to be wowed, Edgeworth. Figured it all out before anybody else had even the chance. Before I even saw the scene. No, before I even heard about the case. I knew it right away. She did it. She's the murderer. Can't be anybody else. Ah! There you go, he got whipped again. Your grounds. Yes, sorry. I was just getting to that. Hey, Mark, how you doing?
Hold it!
Oh, really? And what was she trying to steal? Well, a file. A very particular file. One pertaining to your professional conduct, in fact, Mr. Edgeworth. And you could prove that she needed this file badly enough to steal it.
Overruled.
Oh, there'll be no need to go into that. Will there, Mr. Prosecutor? No, that, won't be necessary. Well, please, Mr. Winter, continue.
Hold it!
And you have proof that it could only have been Kay who committed the murder. Nope! Then might I suggest you try looking into other possible suspects with all due haste? For that, I believe, would be the winning approach here. The winning approach?
Overruled.
According to the reports we received, the police have found no signs of anyone else's involvement. So you're accusing Kay based on that alone. A little tenuous, even for you. And suggesting that there aren't possible suspects when there clearly aren't, isn't? Some game is to do some silly meta solution similar to that, but hiding a puzzle solution in the licensing info you can access from the system menu for every Switch game. Oh. Yeah, I forgot about you. I forgot you can even do that, honestly. Merc, are you alright? You're typing a lot of ellipses there. If only I could do something to prove that he didn't do it. Prove that Kay didn't... Whoa. Only had something that proved Kay didn't do it. This is obviously a setup, plain and simple. You don't have to. It's alright, Kay. The truth will come out, I promise. Just need you to give me some time. Okay. Kay's incapable of murder. There's no way she killed Miss Ringer. But I have to prove that somehow. Or she'll remain suspect. Oh, sorry, Eustace is doing something that feels awfully similar to euthanizing your brain cells. I think Mert just hates Winter as much as you do. Nobody but her could have murdered Rosie Ringer. She snuck into the committee chamber having to do some trademark great thieving. I think that's... We have to present the letter here.
Objection!
Nope! Wasn't it. What do you think of this piece of evidence? Why do you want to know? Don't you see? It proves that there's a contradiction in your testimony. What?
Overruled!
Calm yourself, Eustace. This so-called evidence proves nothing. Huh? Really? Yes, perhaps so, if only Judge Gavell wasn't here. You could try to ensure that there's some substance to your interjections, Mr. Edgeworth. Fear not, Your Honor, for I intend to do just that. How can a prosecutor be this dense? Oh, I thought you were being a black cat in the dark. The dots. How could a prosecutor possibly be this dense? Okay, put a pin in that statement, because you're going to find out why he's this dense. Aside from the fact that he's 17, you're going to find out exactly why he's this dense. Don't worry.
Objection!
Damn it. That was the wrong spot. That's the right piece of evidence, though. It's got to be. There we go. Right statement, wrong evidence, and then right evidence, wrong statement. Are you familiar with this room, Mr. Winter? It certainly sounds like you are. What can I say? Winners know where winners go, and I'm number 1, and 2, and 3. In other words, the majority of your work is second, if not third rate. Why do you always have to make fun of me? You could take it as a slight if you wish, but the fact remains that you seem unfamiliar with this key card. What do you take me for? Of course I'm familiar with it. You need one of those to get in here. Don't you? Oh, the bear face is cute. Remember Lenny face? Remember when that was popular? Like 15 years ago? That was like an early 2010s meme. Have you no shame? Ah! Mr. Winter, do you really even suspect Kay? I also like how Gavell's not even stopping Franziska from whipping him. Of course I do. She did it. Faraday's the killer. It's weird I haven't seen a Lenny in so long. Because Judge Gavell does all the work for him and he keeps getting fired for his incompetence, yeah. He's for getting fired. And perhaps you could tell us how Kay got into such a secure room as this, without a key card. You know, there was the... And she... Yeah. A masterful summary. Now, as we know, only members of the committee have key cards. Therefore, only they can enter. Precisely. Why is she agreeing with me? Please, take a look at this. I had security pull the data earlier. Keycard log, April 4th. User IDs, time of use, 10:15 p.m. and 12:52 a.m. Username unknown, username Ringer Rosie. As you can see, the door to this room was open at 12:52 a.m. with Miss Ringer's keycard. Record of the keycards used to enter the committee chamber. We cannot know for certain, of course, but who's to say the culprit didn't enter the room with Miss Ringer, and then kill her over some subsequent disagreement? It's certainly a plausible theory, but that's all it is. For one, it would require the victim and her murderer to have known each other. Yeah, and Kay didn't know the woman. I'm sure of it.
Overruled.
How can you possibly be sure of such a thing? That's pure speculation on your part, Detective. There's no place for guesswork in the courtroom or at a crime scene. Hard evidence is what's required. In that case, are you suggesting that you have said hard evidence to support your theory? Evidence that Kay Faraday and Rosie Ringer knew one another? But of course. What? I have here a letter. Dr. Hertz found it in the victim's chest pocket. Another of the victim's possessions, and you kept this to yourself until now. You planned for this, didn't you? Is that why? Even when it cools back down, the heated Dr. Pepper is so good. When you boil it, it like spreads the syrup flavor, the cinnamon syrup in it, like out. So even when it's cooled back down afterwards, it has a different taste, flavor to it. It's really good. I'm almost done though. I'm almost out of it. Who boils soda? Me! I brought it up like a bunch lately. Back when I was streaming the first Edgeworth game, people were bringing up the Dick Clark Dr. Pepper commercial from like the 60s or 50s, where he advertises hot Dr. Pepper. So I made it for myself, and I fucking love it. It's great. Shall I read it for you? Rosie, thanks so much for agreeing to help with my plan. Now we could both get what we want. Good luck getting your revenge for what happened 12 years ago. Kay. This would seem to indicate pretty strongly that the two of them were accomplices, wouldn't you say? Accomplices in a plot to steal from the very room in which we're standing. No! Wait, so your principal suspect is... Miss Kay Faraday, for the second crime, as well as Miss Ringer's murder. The victim appears to have been written to the victim by Kay. I'm the principal suspect? So we have a letter to Kay from Rosie, saying, don't worry, I'll make sure you get your precious thing back. And now we have a letter from from Kay to Rosie, talking about revenge and getting what we both want. And of course, Rosie's is covered in blood. And you know Kay wrote this. I mean, obviously, there's some sort of setup here. Kay would have... These two letters are probably not written by the same... This is probably not even written by Rosie. This is probably some setup to frame Kay. Don't listen to her. It's all lies. All of it. You're not like that. You never do any of the stuff they're accusing you of. And how do you explain this letter, Detective? Ugh. Unlike Mr. Winter, I suspected that Judge Gavelle herself had some proof to support her accusation. But I didn't expect it to be quite so definitive. Nicely done, Gavelle. Thank you, Eustace.
Hold it!
We're not done here yet. I still have questions, and you better have answers. Would you mind if I handled this, Eustace? Be my guest. Have fun arguing Edgeworth into the ground. Can't let them steamroller me like this. Can't let them steamroller me on this. Have to find a way to take back the advantage. Kay's letter. As the letter more than adequately approves, damn it. As the letter more than adequately proves, Miss Faraday and Miss Ringer were acquainted. It seems Miss Faraday had asked for Miss Ringer's help in some kind of plot. But for whatever reason, their alliance must have broken down. Miss Ringer lost her life in the resulting disagreement, but she had one last card to play. The letter she kept safe in her left chest pocket, which spells out the name of her killer. She's good. Better than ever. Why is Eustace even here? Don't worry. We're getting to that. Think you could take her down, Mr. Edgeworth? Yes, of course. Don't do this out of pride, Miles. If you're going to fail, do it on somebody else's time. Hey, whose side are you on, sir? There's only one side to be on, Scruffy. The side of the truth. Uh-oh. Looks like the kid's got something to say. But if there's only one side to be on, then it has to be the side of winning. Ah! Quiet, you. My thoughts exactly. Francisca cannot stand this chud.
Hold it!
What exactly was the nature of their relationship? Miss Faraday was grateful to Miss Ringer's cooperation, just as the letter says. I think that more than adequately describes it, don't you? Now, as I was saying...
Hold it!
Can you tell us any more about this plot? The letter implies a theft. And it was written by your friend Faraday, making her the prime suspect. Case closed.
Objection!
Anybody could forge a letter. It's not conclusive proof of anything.
Overruled.
I also seem to recall Miss Faraday referring to herself as a great thief on more than one occasion. She's on sabbatical. How could you be sure of that? It's unlikely she would tell you if she'd resumed her activities, surely. Perhaps she took up stealing again and simply chose to keep it from you. I can't prove that either way right now, and she knows it. As I was saying, it seems Miss Faraday and Miss Ringer were involved in a plot to steal something.
Hold it!
Whatever reason, could you be a little more specific? Not at the moment, but I am sure our investigation will uncover any number of possibilities. Whereas your lack of proof that Miss Faraday is innocent continues to be a major problem for you.
Objection!
I could see that some of the evidence would seem to point to Kay's involvement, but none of it's anywhere near conclusive.
Overruled.
A letter explicitly outlining a connection to the victim, backed up by supporting evidence from the scene? How much more conclusive could it be? And what's more, where's your proof to the contrary? Miss Ringer lost her life in the result. Okay.
Hold
I
it!
feel like the K carries enough of a card that she would refer to herself as a great thief even in writing, yeah. Is there any actual evidence to show that Kay killed Miss Ringer? You don't give up, do you? What do you call that letter, huh? Evidence, duh! Wouldn't be so sure. For one thing, it doesn't mention anything resembling a murder plan. Excuse me. It doesn't? Oh, guess not, huh? Huh. But it will once we hold a flame to it and reveal the secret writing. I wouldn't place too much hope in that revealing anything, Eustace. And we don't need to. Not when we have... Von Karma's winning points with you more and more for each time she whips Eustace.
Hold it!
We're able to examine the pocket in question for ourselves. And you want to know why the letter wasn't there, I assume? It's simple. Police's #1 priority was handing it over to me. Victim had kept it on the left side of her chest, next to her heart, in other words. To indicate her heart's desire, that her killer be brought to justice. I have little interest in sentimental speculations about Miss Ringer's desires, but one thing does interest me. The fact that you said the letter was in the victim's chest pocket. It's the truth, as the goddess is my witness. That's where the letter was found, there's no doubt about it. The same place where she was stabbed with the candelabrum. I think that might prove to be a very important clue. Can't imagine Kay writing a letter like that. Unless we can get more out of Judge Gavelle, I don't think we'll be able to prove that she didn't. Try pressing the good judge on some of her statements and see if she lets something slip.
Hold it!
Eureka!
Hold it!
Where do I press now if I got a clue?
Hold it! Objection! Overruled. Hold it! Hold it!
I'm just trying this again just to see if anything changes here.
Objection! Overruled.
Alright. Because when he said he had a clue, that's usually a sign that you have to press another statement. Here, Heart's Desire, no, it's simply using the fucking pocket. She is Gavelle is pretentious, but she's the judge here. Let's keep our judgments safe for now.
Objection!
What? Care to reveal your testimony at all, Judge Gavelle? No? Why? Do you believe there's something wrong with it? Well, no, nothing seems out of place. And perhaps you could refrain from insinuating otherwise? Well, that blew up in my face. Definitely took too long drinking that. Actually don't know. Oh, maybe it's not the letter that I have to present. It's probably something proving that that's where she was stabbed.
Objection!
There we go. So the victim kept the most vital clue of all closest to her heart. How very touching. The voices of the dead fight to be heard, and even then they don't always reach us. But her voice rang loud and true, and it told us that Miss Faraday is her killer. Think you may have misheard her, Your Honor, or perhaps an evil spirit was trying to mislead you. Hey, you take that back! Perhaps we should try listening to the words of the coroner's report instead. By all means, if I recall correctly, the victim was stabbed on her left side. No! Yes, I'm afraid so. He claimed that the letter was found in the victim's left chest pocket. Well, but that's right where she was stabbed by the candle holder. Indeed, 3 puncture wounds to the chest and yet not one to the letter. Miraculous, no? Well, Judge Cavell, how do you explain that? Because I could think of one explanation. That the letter was deliberately placed there after the fact in order to cast suspicion on Kay. Someone went to a lot of trouble to create the crime scene before we see before us. I think they'll have to get a proper in-universe explanation for the health bar again. First game was specifically court penalties, but now it could just be whatever since it's outside of court. And if you're not to just say, hey, try again with no punishment, yeah. In the Harvey Birdman attorney-at-law game, the health bar was his gravitas, his like how people perceived him. But he didn't understand what the word meant. So when he was like, "No, my precious gravitas," whatever that means. That game is funny. It's not as good, but it's really funny that they made like it's really funny that Capcom used the Ace Attorney like engine to make a Harvey Birdman game. His credibility in the situation, yeah. Or his standing, whatever. Someone went through a lot of trouble. Okay. And that someone is the real culprit, who almost certainly also forged this letter. No! It's clear that the culprit intended to frame Kay. Oof. Suddenly got all sweaty. Ugh. By means of that letter. And you fell for it, hook, line, and sinker.
Objection!
Ah! No, Faraday did it. The letter it was in her other pocket. Yeah. Huh? Seriously? The whole left chest pocket thing was a mistake. Whoever reported it must have meant their left. Certain lawyer will also happen to have court penalties that counted for enough for them to kicked out of the trial no matter how few penalties they had before, yeah. Ah! Got double whipped there. Stop your foolish floundering, you foolishly foolish fool. Or are you just that incurably foolish? Why do you keep whipping me? And stop making fun of my deductions. No! There, I saved you the trouble of disciplining him. Yes, even though I had no intention of doing so. The letter is stained with blood, which suggested it had indeed been placed somewhere on her left side. Therefore, I doubt it was some sort of mistaken report. Not unless the report was given to you. Wait, what? Not unless that report was given by you. Oh. Gavel, say something! No objections? Good, then allow me to continue. So we've established the existence of a second suspect. No, we haven't. The murderer had to get in here, remember? Who else could have gotten in apart from Kay Faraday and Ringer? Whoever it was would have needed a key card. Judge Gavel proposes the killer enter the room together with the victim. But what if there was something questionable of that very basis of her theory itself? This piece of evidence points to another suspect other than Kay.
Take that!
Look again at the keycard record provided by Judge Gavel a short while ago. As already noted, the victim's keycard was used at 12:52 a.m. But you will note that someone else's keycard is also listed. A mystery person who could have entered beforehand and lay in wait for the victim, you mean? This other person entered at 10:15 p.m., so it's certainly not outside the realm of possibility. Except I'm afraid it is. And where's your evidence, huh, Your Honor? My evidence? I am the evidence detective. It was my keycard. Record of keycards used to enter the committee chamber. There's nothing suspicious about a committee member entering the chamber as I please, is there? Gavel Verity. So why wasn't that written on there to begin with? If Gavel was the one who sort of presented that to us, why didn't she just have her name listed there? That's really silly. She wanted to withhold the information. Yeah, I guess so. Perhaps not. That's not the exonerating evidence you seem to think it is. Unless you could also prove that you yourself didn't murder your colleague.
Overruled.
What utter nonsense. What would I have had to gain from killing her?
Objection!
I don't know, you tell me. I'm sure you know how you're going to answer that, Your Honor. I believe further investigation will shed any light on any motives you might have had.
Overruled.
I'm a faithful servant of the goddess. Why would I ever resort to an act of crime? I used my keycard, that much is true. But my reason from entering this room is far from questionable. And perhaps you'd care to tell us why? I had business here in the committee chamber. There were certain preparations to make. Preparations? Sounds pretty suspicious to me. I am not at liberty to share what I was preparing for. But I am sure Prosecutor Edgeworth can make an educated guess. My hearing. She must have been busy gathering the documents they were going to use against me. Why at 10:15 at night? She must have been busy gathering the documents they were going to use against me to relieving me of my badge. Wrong tense. That's the second. That's another time they've done that. Should be to relieve me of my badge. All right, children. That's enough. It's good to keep our skills and our tongues sharp, especially when we're young. But that'll do for now. Who in the... Sorry. Had a piece of lemon in my mouth. Ah, really takes me back to the days of my youth. Back when I would wrangle with a certain detective. He disappeared, you know. I hope he's out there somewhere, living his best life. You'll have to forgive me. It's just, I get so emotional. The tears, I can't stop them. Chairman Winner. Winner? Ah, Verity, my girl, don't you ever stop working. Your dedication puts us all to shame. And who is this young friend, this guy I see before me? Dear child, when did you get so big? Uncle Winner, it's been far too long. And so formal, I thought we were like family. You used to sit on my knee and shout, Uncle Winner, at the top of your little lungs. Ah, but time goes by so very fast. One can't help but shed a tear. Dad, what are you doing here? What am I doing here? A committee member has been murdered and you're in charge of the case, my boy. What is this? Bring your pops to work day? Silence. Do you have any idea who he is? This man is practically the right hand of the goddess herself. A former chief prosecutor and current chairman of the Committee for Prosecutorial Excellence. Now, Verity. There's no need to bring all that up. I'm just a harmless old man, really. Allow me to apologize for the detective's rudeness. I am Miles Edgeworth, correct? And your little subordinate, Dick Gumshoe. Subordinate have two B's in it? Is that a typo? I am Excelsius Winner, father to this idiot boy, among other things. It's a typo. It is a typo. Okay, that's another. Add that to the typo list. My wife and I were so happy when he was born, and now she's gone too. Heaven only knows to where. Dad, you're... Here, use my handkerchief. Thank you, son. You're a good boy, in your own silly way. He's just a silly guy. I love that. I love him. The water pooling in his glasses. Like father, like son, I suppose. Though it's hard to say who's the bigger fool. Well, Verity, how goes the investigation? Thank you for asking, sir. We have identified a prime suspect, 1K Faraday. We're currently trying...
Objection!
You don't have nearly enough evidence to make her your prime suspect, and you know it. Or have you forgotten just what we discovered about the letter?
Objection!
I told you, that was just a mix-up. They got the wrong pocket. No. Don't test my patience. Alright, that's enough. Let's just all calm down, shall we? I'm sorry you had to see that, sir. My humblest apologies. I think you've all made your cases very clearly. All except for you, Eustace. What? But, Dad! We are prosecutors, and it's our duty to identify suspects and bring them to justice. But I wouldn't dare call someone a suspect without evidence or motive. Please, Mr. Edgeworth, I know all about your relationship to the accused. Thick as thieves seems pretty apt, based on what I've heard. Kay's no criminal. She helped us catch the bad guys loads of times. Much about this case is still unclear, sir. Please, you have to let us... It's heartwarming, really. The bonds of friendship are so strong among the young. But, circumstances being what they are, I'm afraid those bonds won't be enough. Anyway, his, Eustace getting called out as an idiot, yeah. Anyway, his fan-translated name was Blaze the Best. The Best matching, Eustace/Sebastian's name. And Blaze being because of his love of that lighter. Flames and such. But they went with Excelsius because it was like, it makes him sound like a real, like a winner. He's a winner that excels. What the heck is that supposed to mean? Prosecutor's office needs this case cleared up as quickly as possible. Time is oh so precious, and we have so little of it, and there are so many other cases. I'm sorry, but you understand, of course, don't you? Alright, Miss K. Faraday. Oh. Time to come along quietly. Yes, sir. Extra Celsius. There might also be Celsius in there as another layer. True. You're not taking her. She's innocent, I tell you. To defy the chairman of the committee is to defy the law itself. It is an act so brazen a hearing won't be necessary at all. Are you prepared for Mr. Edgeworth to lose his badge over this detective? Well, so either Kay goes down or Mr. Edgeworth loses his badge. The heck am I supposed to do? You'd use his badge to shield yourselves? Oh, how the committee too has fallen. Kay, you're innocent. Don't let anybody tell you otherwise. Thank you. So, oh shit, her text was weird. We've only known each other for a short while, but you've been very kind. And I'm sorry. Sorry for being a criminal. Your contrition has been noted, Miss Faraday, and will be conveyed to the Goddess of Justice. Ugh. What in the world should I do? When I was little, all I wanted was to be like my father. To become an attorney and fight for those who can't fight for themselves. But now my fate is tied to that of this one tiny badge. One tiny badge against the life of a dear acquaintance. Who am I kidding? There's nothing to weigh up here. I guess this is it. Goodbye, Mr. Edgeworth.
Hold it!
Judge Gavelle, a moment, please. Yes, what is it? Your badge? What is the meaning of this? I am returning it. For this day forth, I am a prosecutor no longer. Mr. Edgeworth? What are you doing? Miles Edgeworth, explain yourself right now. You're giving it all up, just like that? Can't mean it, sir. Tell me you're kidding, please. If you're not a prosecutor anymore, then what does that make me? I have one duty, and one duty alone, to pursue the truth. If being a prosecutor means I must turn a blind eye to the very truth before me, then I will gladly shed the title to be free. Not a whole lot of that happened in this game. The flashing to every character. I'll carve my own path. One I believe in. I won't let my search for the truth end here.
Objection!
Are you running away from the Von Karma? From me? Say what you will, Franziska. You won't change my mind. So you're leaving me behind again? I'll never forgive you for this. Never! No, this is all my fault. None of this would have happened if it wasn't for me. Wait, Kay, don't go! Even though I'm pointing for you to leave. You stay right where you are, detective. But, sir! I'm not a prosecutor anymore. Don't say that! Where you go, I go, Mr. Edgeworth. I'm always right there, by your side. There's no need for you to do that now, detective. Simply focus on your job and do what you can. Boop, 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 boop. Well, now, this is no good, is it? We let a dangerous criminal run free. I try and I try, and yet it's never enough. There's no need to worry, sir. We'll set up a cordon. She won't get very far. She better not. I'll be very disappointed in you if she does. Big Dick Excelsius over here. Damn it, Gumshoe. Excelsius winner, age 68. Okay, look. He's 68, and she's 60. How? How, I tell you? Former chief prosecutor, current chairman of the committee, and Eustace Winter's father. Has a tendency to burst into tears over nothing. He didn't smoke. Look at him! He was look at this dude. Look at this dude's face. You cannot tell me this dude doesn't smoke. Also, I just realized, if he's 68 and Eustace is 17, that means he was minus 17 from he was 51 when he got his wife pregnant, or 50 when he got his wife pregnant. That's ridiculous. That's insane. Possible, but yeah. Don't judge appearances, I guess, right? Eustace is adopted. No, he's not adopted. To be continued. Oh, I should have just pressed A one more time. Alright, that's a good hour and a half. I will do another part, assuming it's another hour and a half. That'll put us at 3. But I'm going to take a very, very quick break here. So just give me 1 moment, and I'll be right back.